Welcome back to my channel, My Study Table. I'm Dr. Swati, and today I will be taking you through a very interesting topic which comes under Security Analysis and Portfolio Management series, which is Fundamental Analysis. Now, Tim here is looking a little perplexed. He's trying to understand the concept of fundamental analysis since he's going to start investing in the stock market soon and was advised by a few to learn few concepts in order to help him in investing. This is one such concept. What is fundamental analysis and how does it actually help investors select the right stocks to invest in? So Tim hasn't ever done such an analysis and he is a little perplexed about how he needs to go ahead with the same. There's so much of information around, and that's the reason why he finds it a little puzzling. What does he take into consideration to analyze his stock? So what I will be doing is I will take you through what fundamental analysis primarily means and how you can use it in order to understand which stock to invest in. Fundamental analysis is basically the analysis of the economy, the industry, and the company in which you want to invest in. So it could be a top-down approach. It may also be a bottom-up approach. When I say top-down approach, I mean us analyzing the economy initially, then moving down to the industry, and then analyzing the company. If it's the bottom-up approach, it's exactly the opposite, wherein you start off your analysis by analyzing the company first, then the industry, and then the economy. Beginning with economy analysis, it's an analysis of the economic systems of a country. It will cover aspects ranging from GDP, GNP to the study of the production process followed in the economy. It helps understand how key economic factors affect the functioning of an organization or an industry. The ones I have mentioned herein are economic indicators that can be analyzed. The first one is GDP, Gross Domestic Product, and GNP, Gross National Product. Now, GDP represents the market value of all final goods and services produced within a country during a given period. GNP, on the other hand, measures the value of goods and services produced by the citizens of the country, both domestically and internationally. Now, these indicators help gauge the overall size and health of an economy. For instance, an increase in the real GDP is interpreted as an indicator that the economy is performing well and is growing. Coming to domestic and international consumption. Now this talks about the consumption levels. It refers to the number and the amount of products and services bought and used in the country and in international markets that helps gauge the level of production, employment, and growth potential. Now, money supply refers to the currency and other liquid instruments in an economy at a given point of time. An increase in the supply of money helps in the flow of money through all the sectors of the economy, thus showing an increase in investment. An increased supply of money in the hands of consumers would help increase consumption levels. Natural resources and raw materials. This is a part of factor analysis of a country. Natural resources are a key input to the country's production process that brings in further economic growth. State of industrial production. Increase in industrial production will lead to increased employment rate, industrial output, consumption, hence signifying the strength of the industry. Inflation rate refers to an increase in the price level of goods and services in an economy, leading to a reduction in the purchasing power of the local currency. An economy would typically aim at a lower and a stable inflation rate, signifying stability of the economy. Wholesale and producer price index are indicators of a country's level of inflation. Population, the thing that you need to study under this is the consumption levels, and it also impacts the pricing strategies of companies. Hence, that is equally important to be studied. R&D expansions and investments talk about the growth and the futuristic outlook of the economy, the industry, and companies in specific. So these are the various components that could be studied under economy analysis. Moving on to industry analysis, a group of companies offering similar kind of products, services, or doing similar work would be defined as a specific industry. So all banks would come under the banking industry. Similarly, you have IT, ITES sector or industry, auto sector, FMCG, and so on. Now, when we talk about industry analysis, it refers to the analysis of factors that make up the industry in which the company you want to analyze operates. So let's see what are the main components that are analyzed under industry analysis. So these are the components that I have mentioned. Let's begin with the first one, which is total capacity, installed, utilized, and potential. Now, the total capacity of the industry in terms of these three, which is installed, utilized, and potential capacity, gives us an idea of not only the current size, but also future potential of growth in terms of industrial production and capacity. Labor requirements and availability concurrently and in future marks the demand and supply match of this factor of production, thus focusing on the cost incurred or to be incurred. Technology. This would make one understand the importance of technology as perceived by the company. A company that is looking to grow at a steady rate and consistently would invest in technology, not only to better its product and service offerings, but to also reach out to all customer segments across physical boundaries. Government policies and regulations. Changes in current policies and regulations will affect the workings and growth potential of industries, and thereby companies under the industries. Hence, understanding the regulatory framework is important for investors. Competitive scenario. The number of competitors, the extent of competition, and the actions of competitors in an industry influences the actions, profitability, and growth prospects of a company. This is studied as it has an implication on cost, profitability, and sustainability of a company. Consumer activity. Now, customer dynamics in terms of current and potential customers, niche customers, their ability to influence pricing of products, their bargaining powers, as well as switching costs between competitors, etc., need to be studied, as all of these factors would influence the company's top line and bottom line. So what I mean by top line is your sales revenue, and what I mean by bottom line is net profit. Life cycle of the industry. This is an examination of which stage the industry is at a given time. This shows if the industry is in a growth phase or has reached a point of stagnation and has a bleak future. It helps measure the financial strength and capability of the industry. Now, what is the importance of conducting an industry analysis? The importance can be seen with regard to the following inferences. First one, growth in the industry. Now, a growth in the industry would mean, in generic, a growth of the companies within it as the size of the industry and the earnings grow. Related industries. Now, industries also grow at a high rate when there is a growth in their related industries. For example, if there is a surge in the demand for cars, there will also be a demand growth in its related industry, that is steel. Changes in industry structure and regulations. Now, changes in the industry structure, that is number of new entrants or exit of few players, or any kind of changes in the regulation makes a lot of difference in the financials of the industry. Hence, the importance of doing an industry analysis. The last part of fundamental analysis is conducting a company analysis. This basically studies all those variables and components that have an influence on a firm. So one could do a quantitative analysis that covers earnings, ratios, etc. Or could do a qualitative study, studying the management and promoters of the firm, asset liability analysis to understand the nature of the business. Now I have mentioned few components that are analyzed under company analysis. It covers both quantitative as well as the qualitative components. The analysis should help one understand the profitability, liquidity, solvency and efficiency of the organization, which is the overall financial position. The composition of the management, their current corporate governance actions, and their overall ability and quality of managing the organization would give an assurity to an investor. The quality of earnings with regard to the source of income, the amount of liquidity, main expenses, nature of financing the assets, so debt equity ratio, these things help analyze the financial performance of the company. An investor can compare all these performance figures with the industry figures as well as the competitors' figures. They can compare them with historical performances as well, as that helps in seeing how a company is performing in relation to its peers. Usually few ratios are calculated to ascertain the financial performance. So I have named a couple of them here. Alright, so you have a debt equity ratio that I've named a PE ratio. You also have other ratios which come under the main heads of profitability, liquidity, solvency and efficiency. So all of them are also calculated to understand the financial performance of companies. Understanding both the qualitative as well as the quantitative aspect makes company analysis more holistic in nature. Now comes the question, where can you find this information? So there are a lot many sources from where you can get the information about economy, industry and company. I have named a few. Let's go through them. For economy analysis, information is available in economy related portals. Example could be CMIE. Industry analysis, information about each industry is available in industry related portals such as IBEF. Company analysis, you can access the annual reports of companies as well as their financial statements that are available in their website. Along with financial statements, there would be history of the company. There would be a little write-up about the management and the promoter of the firm, as well as the other announcements and actions of corporate actions of the company. So all of this information is available in the company's official website, which you can access. Other sources of information I have named newspaper, journals, business-related magazines, websites. So examples like Economic Times, Financial Express, official sites of BSE and NSE. Also certain websites giving business and stock related news like moneycontrol.com and so on. There are many. You can go through all of them. Only make sure that you validate and authenticate the information. Coming to the interpretation of information under fundamental analysis. Now this could help you cluster your analysis and information into three main heads, them being current capacity and financials of the company and the industry, growth CAGR, which is compounded annual growth rate, and future prospect of the company as well as the industry. This would help you make a comprehensive assessment of the company you want to invest in. Finally, the important pointers for analyzing data. First one, collection and collation of data is one of the most important component. Hence, the GIGO concept applies, which is garbage in, garbage out. Hence, make sure you validate the information collected through authentic sources. Tools for analyzing data. You can use both financial and statistical tools to analyze your data. I will be coming out with the ways in which you can do a financial analysis very soon. I will paste the link in the description box once I publish it. Interpretation could be basic and detailed. So basic would be something like an overview, and detailed would be covering all the qualitative and quantitative aspects in detail. The interpretation could help you get clarity on the company you would want to invest in. You could follow up your fundamental analysis with a technical analysis for better decision making. I hope you are clear about the concept of fundamental analysis. Tim here looks clear about the same. Hope you found this video informative. You could go through my channel to learn more concepts on security analysis and portfolio management, as well as other management related subjects. Here's to happy learning now and always.